I'm Stephen Yan with Macquarie. I'm joined by Tej Shah of Macquarie Capital. Just give us a quick background.
I started on the software engineering side as a consultant at PricewaterhouseCoopers for several years, implementing content management systems and next generation, what was called then e-business technology. I joined Macquarie 5 years ago, originally in the New York office as part of the US build-out of Macquarie Macquarie Capital platform, and certainly the Macquarie Capital TMT team, Tech Media Telecom. Started there 5 years ago, really spearheaded our efforts around the coverage of initially digital media and internet, and then branching into software as well, and what we refer to in the US for Macquarie as our tech coverage efforts, really on internet and software. A year and a half ago, to have a good footprint and coverage of internet and software, we realized we needed a stronger presence on the West Coast. So I moved to San Francisco to open up our San Francisco tech office.
Tell us what you're seeing at the moment in terms of themes and trends.
If we were to look 5 years ago, there were certainly a handful of very popular trends and themes that were impacting this revolution that we're seeing in technology, in the enterprise, to the consumer. And for that reason, we have spent a lot of time around internet and software because we think those are the two largest impacted subsectors within technology. There are specific themes that we see today that are very interesting, and fundamentally, if you look at what's going on, starting on the enterprise side, what you have is you have an appification, certainly a prevalence of apps in terms of how consumers are consuming content. You have new platforms in mobile and frankly in addition to just conventional desktop, laptop platforms for working and being productive today. We're traveling more, we need access to information on the go, and that's enabling a whole generation of technologies, specifically around apps, which is forcing enterprises to rethink everything from their fundamental architecture all the way through security and then how they handle security.
How much is sort of this stuff corporate and institutional versus kind of B2C?
Because we all now think mobile first, it's revolutionized e-commerce, it's revolutionized advertising, certainly enabled newer themes around the sharing economy and how consumers operate day in and day out. And I think we'll continue to see that, not just on mobile, but as we think about automobiles, as we think of the home and the connected home, and just newer platforms around day-to-day what you, the consumer, interact with, and oftentimes it will be in a very new way going forward.
How is Macquarie sort of set up to really help some of these companies get to that, long-term longevity and be sustainable?
We're a full-service investment bank that includes the full capabilities around equity capital markets, debt capital markets, M&A, just providing good, honest advice, private capital markets. We have a deep balance sheet in which we can assist companies as well throughout the capital structure, from senior debt all the way through junior equity, and there are plenty of examples of us having stepped up and supported companies in the seed stage all the way through a late stage growth round, all the way to being a public company and wanting to facilitate an acquisition. So our capital is very flexible and it's 100% on our balance sheet, so we can be flexible in how we deploy the capital and support our clients. But in addition, Macquarie is a global platform. We're 14,000 employees, 28 offices, 28 countries, 70 offices, very strong presence throughout Australia and Asia Pacific. And companies today, tech companies particularly, as they grow, they're becoming global earlier. They're having the conversation around how do you build a sustainable global company earlier in their life cycle. And for that reason, Macquarie's strength in international and being global and providing some of that connectivity is an advantage to a lot of the entrepreneurs we speak to.
Tej Shah, thanks very much. That was very interesting.
Thank you, Steve.
Great. That was Tej Shah, Senior Vice President of Macquarie Capital, here for Monty TV.